Now, recently in the nation's capital, Abuja to be precise, or across the FCT if you like, the minister of the FCT, Yisom Wike, commissioned a number of bus stops. And what we didn't know, it triggered a trend because shortly after, will I say his Enugu state counterpart, Governor Peter Mbah, also commissioned a number of bus stops in Enugu, the Enugu state capital. So that made us begin to wonder, where are the roads leading to these bus stops? What are the conditions of this road? Because, I mean, if you commission a quote-unquote state-of-the-art bus terminal, you would anticipate that the road networks that lead in and out of that bus terminal would be, more or less state-of-the-art, so to say. But that's not necessarily the case. So, on this edition of Black or White, we are looking at the road mandate. Is it that it is misplaced priority, or basically all these commissioned bus terminals tagged state-of-the-art are a source of revenue, for the various states that have taken the part of commissioning state-of-the-art bus terminals? Well, we'll get into the conversation in just a bit. As always, follow, like, share on Black or White. We'll be back. Right, thanks for staying with us, and we love your reactions, especially on the last edition of the show. But guess what? This is a fresh one, and as always, we expect you to engage us with your comments, interactions, and engagement. Don't forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, don't forget to click on the notification button so that every time a new edition of Black or White drops, you get notified. Well, on this edition, we are looking at the road mandates. Is it necessary, so to say, that we have state-of-the-art bus terminals, some infrastructure, but not necessarily looking at the road networks that lead to some of these bus terminals and quote-unquote world-class terminals and infrastructure? As usual, I've got a loaded house. My brothers are with me, so you could say it's a brotherly edition. And we've got a new addition on this edition. Let me start with the new guy. Yeah, let's not pick on him. But anyway, Ima, it's great to have you join us on this edition of the show.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And of course, the men who hold me down, left or right, they're here. Wale, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And of course, Kunzi, my brother. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Same here. All right, so at the start of the show, I did say, the FCT minister, Yisom Wike, I mean, it was almost everywhere on social media, conventional media, as he showed off his new state-of-the-art terminals across the FCT, and particularly the capital, Abuja. And then shortly after, before we knew it, Peter Mbah of Enugu State also followed suit by investing in unveiling state-of-the-art bus terminals across the city of Enugu. But what caught our attention was, okay, fine, beautiful bus terminals, but where are the road networks that would conveniently make these bus terminals fully deliver the kind of results promised by both the FCT minister and governor of Enugu State? And then beyond that, we began to ask whose responsibility it is to invest in infrastructures such as bus terminals, and of course the road networks that lead to those terminals. And so we decided to have this conversation today. Let me start from Kunle. I know before the camera started rolling and we got the show going, you were talking about the fact that the various levels of government have various levels of responsibility when it comes to infrastructure, particularly road infrastructure. The state government has their responsibility, the local governments have their responsibility, and of course the federal government has its responsibility. But yes, I must acknowledge on the show, we supposedly have local government autonomy. Yes, we will say the law is there, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into the conversation as to whether we're truly autonomous as far as the local. But are the local governments empowered enough in this dispensation? I grew up at a time where I knew what local government chairman could do.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I grew up in Lagos. I knew how they transformed several areas within. I grew up in Bariga, so I can allude to that. But in this dispensation, are the local governments truly empowered to carry out infrastructures like road construction, bus terminal construction? Because what we've seen, it seems to be the states. I talked about the FCT minister. I would have been happy if it was the chairman of Buhari local government area or Buhari
who commissioned
Council, who commissioned the bus terminal. But it was the minister that commissioned it in the heart of Abuja, and then in Enugu, Pitamba, in the heart of Enugu. I would have loved to see
another local government chairman doing that. Okay. Basically, I think it's very important to note. You asked a question: are they empowered enough to do the needful in terms of providing infrastructure needed? Now, sadly, no.
Despite the fact that we now
have autonomy and
autonomy,
they do not have the capacity to provide everything all the citizens of their local government require to flourish and enjoy the dividend of democracy. Unfortunately, it's very, very unfortunate. And we are looking at a position where we have a local government autonomy that cannot actually provide for the people of their local government. That is sad. However, having said that, I think beyond that, the little they have presently, we are expecting to see a lot done in that area. For instance, I mean, we all know how much revenue has been going down to the states and local government lately since the beginning of this dispensation. This government has prided itself as one of the biggest giver of allocation since they came.
Yeah,
you can imagine August they shared over 3.8 trillion naira, and local government got about almost 500 billion naira, which if you divide it by 774, at least no local government will get nothing less than 200 million plus the internally generated revenue they do. So with that, you will know that even if it means that, okay, you're telling us that you're paying salaries and you're doing other minor things, those little things we should see. And that is where I think the state government go across board to help the local government, because they are not able to generate enough funds to help them in providing the basic amenities. Because if you look at the monies we're talking about now, despite the fact that it's getting higher, most time they use it for paying salaries of workers like teachers and all that, what have you, the healthcare sectors. So if you look at that, it looks a little bit small for them to do all of these infrastructures required from them. So the state goes beyond just monitoring as the constitution allows them, to providing revenue for them. I mean, funds for them to you do a lot of things like all this terminal that you see the chairman, the minister of the FCT doing. However, Wike can take the shine of making the giant step or starting those whole process, but he learned from Lagos. Like, Lagos started all the bus terminals.
Bus terminals.
So when he went there to commission, he was exploded. He was governor then. So I think that is what he's trying to replicate. That FCT as the city capital should have stuff like that, and which is good. So what we are looking forward to seeing is a more active local government. The federal government has given you autonomy, no matter how you say it, whether it is operative or not. I'm expecting to see a local government that is going further to deepen the source of generating revenue in each of those local governments. There are a lot of things local government could do. You just said it in your submission that local government chairman in our days, they do a lot of things.
Very powerful.
Streets were tarred. No streets that's the responsibility of local government. No streets in this country should be left unturned.
Exactly.
There should be drainage. All of those things are
Street
basic
lights.
amenities. Street lights. They can do it. Even if it means that, okay, yes, I want to do 10 streets in a year. Concentrate on that and deliver it. You don't have to do everything. When it's another person's tenure, they will face another project. I mean, we should be intentional, and that's what I think.
Kule, you raised my curiosity. Let me, before I come to you, Wally, because I know you're giving me that look. Ima, a local government gets over 200 million, right? Even the average Nigerian thinks about it. 200 million enter my hand now. You understand?
Yeah.
Then the local government gets 200 million. Another revenue from taxes, internally generated revenue, and yet all we hear is they are paying salary. No infrastructure is invested into. I mean, you're the upcoming guy, Gen Z. How do you guys? I mean, when you hear things like this, how do you react to it?
Well, I feel it's just, I don't want to call it negligence, but I just feel like it's just the corruption that has deepened like us as a society. Now, before we even start asking like why are they not doing any infrastructural project, we should ask like most most local government offices or this they're even uncompleted. So where's
the money going?
Thank you. Where's the money going? If they can't even use it to do their own house, or should I don't know how to use this word. They say charity begins at home. If you cannot use it for the office that you stay, and how would you now use it to build the roads that you're being allocated money for? So I feel like it's the local government, in as much as they know what they have to do, but they are just being so like, I don't want to say ignorant, but they're just being so incompetent, because incompetency has like deepened us in the country. So if you can, that aspect of their paying salaries to me is just mere excuses, because even you go to like different villages, you see that everything is not even working. Even the allocation, like the internal revenue, the taxes, you see people on the road collecting taxes, where's the money going? So for me, it's just incompetence. So that's just that they should not just
as far as you're concerned.
Yes, thank you.
They've got autonomy.
Exactly.
Money is coming.
Exactly.
At least at all, I'm bad pass. According to our people, we have 200 million on the average, and yet.
Every
month. So if you multiply 200 million by 12 months, that's a sackload of money. Well, I mean, where do you stand on all of this?
You see, when we look at this story from the fact that the local government is not doing enough, the state government is not doing enough, the federal government might not be doing enough, or they are stepping on different mandates, the context of democracy lies with the people. And development is what the people require.
Exactly.
Wherever it's coming from, people need development.
True.
So we look at these bus terminals and ask ourselves the question, what is it supposed to serve the people practically? Transportation is always a problem in the world. Has always been a problem in the world. Migration, movement is a constant thing for every human being. If you don't move, you will die. Stagnancy stinks. We all heard that. So when it comes to mass transportation, the movement of a large number of people at the same time, not the movement of one person. It's not just one family of 5 or 4 that wants to move. We're talking about the fact that people that live in Gwagwalada wants to move from Gwagwalada to central area. And we're thinking of 10,000 persons. So what do we have to do? Let's build a bus terminal where everybody could converge, know the time of the buses, and they can move. Not like there's no form of transportation before, but we know we've had cases of one chance, they're not numbered, they're not labeled, we don't even know who is who and stuff like that. So more than looking at the mandate, where it's placed, I think we should look at the functionality and how well it could better the lives of the people in that society. I'm
sorry, bro, you're a man, but let me just say that I love him. Because you took something out of my head.
Exactly.
Because I'm thinking, the FCT, for instance, I don't want to put Enugu and the FCT on the same scale. The FCT, for instance, what I was hoping when I heard that the FCT minister was going to get President Bola Tinubu to come and launch a terminal, what I was hoping was maybe we'll have light rail or tube, like we see in other developed climes. I mean, Washington, D.C., I know people who don't live in D.C., but come as far as Pittsburgh to come and work in D.C., and they take the train every day. So I was wondering, maybe, that should be what... So, I mean, Enugu, fine. Like I said, I can't put it on the same scale.
When you look at that and Nigeria at the moment, we're looking at a fast solution for the problem at hand. So the rail system is not something you do in 2 weeks or 2 months or 1 year. You might not even have laid all the rails, but at the moment where our country is, what we can afford, and it's coming from the federal government. If the state at the level of the state government is thinking of it like, okay, the major cities, I need to connect them, build bus terminals, and probably call some people that are interested in transportation business to come into that sphere to come and work to earn from it. It should be something we welcome, because the so-called politicians in this position might not even be the ones that are going to be using those bus stations.
No, most times they are not the ones that use them.
Yeah, they will not be the ones. So if they are not using it and other people are using it, it's something that we should... It's just a form of appreciation. It's a form of development that we should appreciate more than... I don't want to look at the local government supposed to be the one doing it. If they're not doing it, and state is not doing it, and federal is not doing it, we will not have it. So let's look at the fact that we've been able to achieve something positive for development more than thinking of who is doing it right now. If everybody is hungry right now, whoever gives you food, you don't ask the question, are you supposed to be the one to give me food? Transportation is as big a problem like that also.
Okay. But in terms of functionality...
Yes, I agree with you. That's exactly where I'm going, because it's enough for us to say, okay, yes, we already have it, doesn't matter who does it. But however, the question is, what happens to your responsibilities? How many of it are you actually fulfilling right now? Who is asking questions as to what are you doing with the revenue allocated to you and the one you're generating?
No, if you're asking the question of what are you doing with the revenue, that will be a different question. What we're thinking of right now is the fact that
we're looking at the responsibilities of providing this infrastructure. Whose responsibility is it? And I mean, most of this infrastructure we're talking about, like you said, it states, I mean, he agreed that, okay, yes, somebody has to do it. That's why Wike is doing it. It's not his job.
FCT minister has built bus terminals. Let the local government chairman, Buhari, let them buy the buses.
I mean,
but even the federal government has provided buses.
I agree.
In the case of Enugu, the governor said there are 200 CNG buses. He released 100.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Those things are fine. But what I'm saying simply is this. I mean, for God's sake, this local government, I have cried over years. They have a responsibilities. A lot of people are ignoring them too long. And that is why they can sit down there. A local government chairman feels that, okay, once I'm there, I can provide whatever the governor asks from me. I'm cool. He doesn't have any responsibility. And that is where our problem lies. We are not getting autonomy so that local government chairman can become bigger.
I think really
we're getting we are getting autonomy.
I think that's the question.
Now listen, we're getting autonomy for them because we want the people to feel the pulse of democracy. Look at the figures that are coming out these days. It's getting higher. Local government is getting more money every year, and we're not seeing it in the system. People should not be complaining and looking up at federal government. We should be looking at our local government. What are you doing with our funds?
So, Kule, you are, again, re-echoing the word of Mr. President.
Exactly.
That don't keep... Everything should not fall at the doorstep of Mr. President.
Doing? What is your local government doing? Local government, the governor is doing. The governor is supposed to provide a tube, like you said, like a metro line, and say, okay, yes, we are building mega infrastructure for the city so that everybody can converge in the city and move to their localities in different ways easily. We are providing mass housing in areas that are not, those are things that a state can say, okay, yes, I want to take as a project. Let's local government begin to dig down agriculture, local infrastructure, street lights, street roads, local healthcare, primary healthcare.
Primary healthcare that is almost non-existent.
General hospital can exist, but then you have primary healthcare.
So I think our electioneering process has to be looked into again. Who are the people that were elected to become our local government chairman? If they are not thoughtful enough for them to be able to derive thoughtful plans for their local government, it becomes a problem. Because as you said, they generate revenue, internally generated revenue. They get on an average, although 200 million is so small an amount of money right now, but not that it cannot bring anything up. how intuitive are they to be able to build something that will create more jobs for the people in the local government, make life better, and make the local government generate more revenue? That's what I think we should be looking at. When the FCT minister, one of these commissioning he went to, or one of these visits he went to, he had to tell the local government chairman that you're waiting for me to do something for you. He got so angry and said he doesn't want to hear that kind of thing again. You see, I think, as you said, the powers of the local government was taken away from them for a very long time. Right now, they're giving it back to them. Maybe most of them still don't know how to use those
Okay,
powers.
let me ask, Iman.
Yes, sir.
Do you truly think the local governments are autonomous? Do you think that power has really got into their hand?
Well, I would say I don't want to like delve out of the points, but let's be real. We know that as a governor, a sitting governor, they're the ones that are like putting this local government chairman like on the seats because of they know what they are going to get from those people. So they are putting their yes man so that the person will be answerable to them. So for me, I feel like they are not autonomous because at the end you're still doing you're still being like a puppet to your puppet master.
They are still puppets to the puppet master.
Yes.
Okay, we'll take a quick breather. Tell us what you think. As you know, we're always looking forward to your engagements. Tell us what you think. The local governments, are they truly autonomous? Or is it just autonomy on paper, as it were? And are the governors more puppet masters than actually giving the local government chairman or council chairman, as the case may be, the power and authority for them to deliver at the grassroots, and also so that the people can truly get the dividends of democracy? The conversation continues shortly. The conversation is still on as we look at the road mandate, priority or just sheer neglect on the part of the various arms of government, federal, state, and of course the local government. There's been conversations for and against, but we really would love to hear your thoughts. Of course, before we went on that break, Ima was like, as far as he's concerned, look, the power has not got into the local government. Yes, on paper we have autonomy, but they are puppets, only directed what to do by their puppet masters. And most times, the puppet masters are the governors. Kunle, I don't know if you agree.
I to a certain extent, I want to agree, but then I want to tell you the paper autonomy that you were talking about is about the only authority they need to act. That's the only authority they need to act. That legal standing, that constitutional right to be autonomous.
So as far as you're concerned, we have a devolution of powers. If you're
talking about being a puppet, almost not all the politicians in Nigeria works under somebody. They work with somebody or works for somebody.
So we have a puppet master political system.
Yeah, but then many of them still go beyond their confines to deliver. So the same thing should go to the local government. If you know you've been elected by the people and you have a responsibility to provide X, Y, Z, even if it is only Y and Z or even Z that you're able to provide, people will see you have been able to make a certain degree of improvement. You can't sit down and say, oh, I don't have money. You have money. Look at Bariga local government. The other day, he was all over the internet. You saw the school he built.
Yes.
It's a local government chairman. It's as beautiful as any school you can get
I don't know
in
how
River State and all that.
But you seem to be reading, because I was going to ask Wale.
Because these guys they know how to generate revenue. You said, Ima, the other day that they know how to collect all forms of revenue from everywhere.
Yeah.
So they know how to generate revenue apart from the federal allocation. And when you see that, you can see that there is money. People provide enough money to the system to act.
Okay,
there are different indices that create the allocation that goes to different local governments. Using Bariga as an example, because I believe 30% of what goes to every local government is based on population.
Yes.
So the population of Bariga local government cannot be compared to a local government in Ekiti. All local governments in Nigeria have a percentage of 40%.
What happened to Goshofe? Why can't Goshofe not have it? Goshofe has my 12. They have Alakbere market. They have K2 market.
Gentlemen, let me ask this question.
Population.
We are in the FCT. Our kids in primary school were home for close to 4 months because local government chairman couldn't pay primary school teachers' salaries.
Yes.
It took the intervention of the FCT minister. And I won't be surprised that similar cases have happened in other states across the country. So this issue of revenue generation, what structures are there to ensure transparency and effective implementation of the revenues generated for projects at that level?
The governor of Imo State increased the minimum wage.
Yes, 104,000.
104,000 naira. And I'm asking myself the question, there should be where the excesses between 70,000 to 104,000, there's a place it should be coming from.
Exactly.
The states must be able to have seen it before, like, oh, we were spending this money on education before, now we're removing it to salaries. We're spending this money on health before, we're removing salaries. So you ask yourself, where's the money coming from? It might be a little of weight on the states. And these are some of the things that lead to owing salaries. When the federal government comes up and say, minimum wage should be 70,000 naira, not all states can pay, not all local governments can pay. Because the IGR of the local government and the allocation that is being sent cannot pay all the salaries.
I agree.
Now, the IGR is supposed to...
arguments that both the governors down to the local government chairman have refused to be innovative in being able to generate revenue.
Absolutely.
That there is absolutely no state across Nigeria that is not blessed with one thing or the other that the state can leverage on at all levels.
Absolutely.
So what we've noticed is that the governors, everybody seems to just be waiting for federal allocation.
But you cannot put a salary on a revenue you're not generating yet.
Okay, now let me cut in. Okay, so now like we have states that are saying, okay, we want to pay 104,000 naira, and then you are asking yourself if some local government can actually afford it. Let me tell you something. Why can't they? If they don't have the numbers of people in that state to do revenue generation, because most times population helps in your revenue generation.
It's supposed to be
if you don't have a huge population, that means you have less responsibilities. You have less salary to pay.
Exactly.
Are you getting me? You have less schools to fix. You have less roads to fix and all that. So, I mean, you don't have that challenge. The thing is that the revenue from the federal allocation is growing by the day. And that's why those states can say, okay, let me increase my own salary. So if it is not happening that day, if they are not seeing the money from the federal, they will not be talking about increasing salaries. But that is to tell you that most of these people, the states and the local government, they have become so, redundant that they don't think it is important for them to put to the people what is their people are looking for. Everybody should not be waiting for presidents. We have local government and state government. That should be our concern.
This may be a conversation for another day, because just yesterday or the day before yesterday, I came across a story where a policeman shot a soldier, and it was discovered that the policeman was escorting lorries that were carrying illegally mined resources from a particular state. And I'm asking, how did we get here? But like I said, it's a conversation for another day, because one would have expected that the local government chairman of where those things are being mined would
have raised alarm a long time ago about this issue.
About this issue. But
probably he knows and he's collaborating with those people that are stealing his own resources that he cannot perform without. So those are things that we maybe we'll look at it like you said.
Conversation for another day. Well, gentlemen, thank you as always. It's been an incisive conversation, and we'd like to hear from you. Don't forget, follow, like, share, and click on that subscription button and the notification button so that every new edition of Black or White you get notified. I am Nkamian John saying, hey, keep engaging us always.
From motivational speakers to life coaches, pastors, imams, whatever you call them, we've always had a statement from them. The way you dress is the way you'll be addressed. Perception has always been a tool everybody has used, either as a form of smart branding or deception, for everybody to see you in a particular manner. And the context is this: the reality of who you are might be missing by you becoming someone else in sight of people, rather by being the real person you are. Today we'll be talking about the context of fake life. Either it's a tool for smart branding or it's a self-destructive deception. Are you really making yourself a better person at the sight of people, or you're creating a person that does not really exist in the sight of other people. Welcome to a podcast that looks at issues not just on the surface, but we want to delve really into the debatable aspect of it and get to understand if it makes more sense than what it is. On this show today, I have three people with me. Mr. John, thank you for being with us again today.
Pleasure, as always.
Welcome. Barrister, I don't know, we're talking about fake life. I don't know what we're going to talk about it. But you have your own time to explain that. And my wonderful sister Lifa, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. And Mr. John, you have such a smooth voice.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a voice for radio.
All right, so let's
Thank you.
Let's dig deep into the context of fake life. Mr. John, you have a very good voice. Now, the voice has created a perception. And with that, you can create who you are. What's your take on the issue of fake life, and how do you see it? Is it a tool that people use to brand themselves to become better persons? Or do you think it could let you lose your reality and become a deception to the world?
It's kind of a tacky conversation for me, because being a communications person, you teach communications experts to come from the perspective of using people's emotions, using people's perspective to be able to sell brands, sell products. And then most times, a brand or a product may not necessarily be what you think it is, but we make you think it is. It will give you what you imagine.
So in the field of communication, you guys lie a lot.
Well, it is not seen as lying. It's seen as
Bending the truth?
okay.
Lying.
It's not lying. It's simply marketing. That's what it simply is.
So it's good we say the people that live a fake life, a deceptive life, a multiple personality life are marketing themselves also?
They are marketing themselves, and there is a clientele, and that is why they have packaged themselves in that manner, or so as to be seen to offer whatever goods, whatever services that they are selling. There are certain markets or certain clientele that if you don't dress in a particular manner, if you don't speak in a particular manner, you don't deliver in a certain manner, you don't get a second chance.
Okay. Lifa, do you think deception works?
Firstly, what is deception? Who am I deceiving, really? So we were talking about fake life and all of this. But where do we draw the line? Where does it stop being self-enhancement and begin to become fake? So everybody aspires to be better, to look better, to do better, to learn more. Yeah? While I'm doing this, do I have to look like the last level I was on? Can't I look like where I project that I will be in the next level? So at what point does it stop being aspiration, aspiring for better, and starts to become fake life? So on this topic, I'm somewhere in the middle, because I don't believe that it's either good or bad. I think that it's how you use it and how much of it that you use that determines. There's a place for balance, right? There's a place for, okay, you know yourself, you know who you are. Your core value should stay core. When you begin to deviate from that, you may be tilting a little bit towards one side or tilting a little bit towards the other side, making yourself overly accessible to rubbish, or making yourself a little bit too rigid to learn the benefits of the other side as well. So it's somewhere in the middle.
Okay. Barrister, most times I don't like building conversation with you on a legal basis. But let's go into the definition of this statement. As I will say it again. Dress the way you want to be addressed. But if the way you dress is not who you are, so you're likely going to be addressed in a way that is not really who you are. From the definition, what do you take the context of fake life to be?
Fake life, let me just put it in this way, is a thing of the brain. How? How? Then we now have to bring in the concept of imagination and reality. Mm-hmm. You understand? When we talk of imagination, many people live their life, they live their entire life There are 100 years they will spend on net. They leave it in 1 minute. They start the life now, they see where they are headed, and they concluded everything is concluded, and they brought it back. That pushes them to want to live that life in reality, because they know already that reality itself is hard. To become great is hard. You have to put in sacrifice. You have to probably go to school, spend many years. You have to be an artisan before you could gather some things together to become what you are. But immediately they imagine that this is how I can become. This is who I can become. They saw it and, oh, no, I want to become it now. Then it becomes a problem. So for us not to be able to tame imagination is what leads to fake life.
Capacity not to tame your imagination.
Not to tame your imagination. So if you allow imagination to run its course, there is a problem.
So where do we? Let me borrow what she said.
All right.
Where do we draw the line?
I'm
Because we
that.
are in a society where you hear "fake it till you make it." I've heard that a lot, and especially from the young people. You understand? And I'm like, wait a minute. Yes, you could create an impression of something that you're not, but when reality dawns, because it always dawns, it will ask of you of that character or of that person that you said you were, and you can't provide it. But somehow in this modern 21st century we find ourselves, a number of people have been able to reinvent, I think that's the word now, reinvent themselves from what they were to who they have perceived themselves to be. And most importantly, that new reinvented version of them is what sells.
No. The fear of this conversation really dwells on the fact that everybody, as you said, everybody tries to enhance themselves to be a better person, which is not bad for you to be aspiring to be something better. But the fear we have is this: living a fake life could destroy you, because you're placing yourself at a particular level which really you're not, which might not be sustainable, which might lead you to some other things for you to, if you want to try and sustain it. Now the question now goes deeper: that is there a fear of destruction more than the fact that you could really transit into that person, and the branding, basically what you said in marketing, could make you a better product that people want to purchase, and people just believe who you become?
Okay, so maybe the thing that we should now be focusing on more than the faking of the life is what you are faking as. What is it that you are projecting that you are? So if I sit today and I project that I am a professor, nobody is going to have a problem with that, as long as I have capacity and I'm working towards it. Yes? So I've decided on a positive thing, and I believe that I am, and then I begin to do the work to become. So what's the thing? As I think, so I so.
No, but the problem is this. What we're saying is this: you call yourself a professor, but you just only got MSc. You don't even have a PhD to start with.
I was going somewhere with this. So while I'm moving towards this, the people in my house may be calling me prof. Do you know that I am not prof? Yes. Can I be prof? Yes. Right? This is one aspect. Now, there's a second kind of aspiration that is destructive and useless. So I come home and I say, I am doctor. I do no learning. I do no furtherance of anything. And I'm telling you to go and buy antibiotics, you'll be fine. Doctor has said. You see this? Now, because I have projected myself in a certain way, there's the respect I'm getting for this projection of self, but I have not merited it. I do not know the things that would allow me to merit it, and I have refused to grow. So the capacity hasn't improved.
Is that self-realization? Does it come into place? Sometimes people that do fake life, do you think they sit down sometimes and know to themselves I'm lying?
So there have been some experiments that have been done to see how human beings adapt to a new status that they have not merited. So they even did this using what's the name of this game where you have lots that you can Monopoly.
Okay.
So now they came and they gave 2 sets of people, like, so like let's say as we are now the 4 of us, you know, when you start the game, I think you're giving $200 and your dice. What I think it's just one to play, but then they give you an added advantage. So let's say in this game, I'm the one who's giving the added advantage. Yeah. Before we start, I'm giving $1,000, but you guys are giving $200. But you don't know that I have $1,000, right? And then in addition, every time that I play, I'm giving 2 of the dice to play, but you only play with 1. Wow. Ideally, I haven't merited any of this, right? When the game begins and continues and continues and continues, a few things were noticed about the person who didn't merit it. They begin to feel like they're actually boss of the other 3, as though they did something special to earn the position. And then they begin to talk like the boss. They begin to act like the boss. Then they become more rude. And then they reversed this and did the same experiment and watched the people who actually merited this. Sure, eventually, because you're the one who's winning, you begin to say things like, yeah, I'll own that lot. Yeah, but they didn't become rude.
Okay, right. I think you're going into the next question I was about to ask. What are the dangers of living a fake life?
The first danger is that, one, you can't build something on nothing. Fake is fake. So if you are trying to live a life that wants to portray you in a particular light, time will reveal if truly
you are who you say you are.
So that's to that stuff.
What you just said right now, the conflict I'm having with it is this: if mentally you see yourself there, physically you're not there, you start faking it physically, and somehow, because you see yourself there mentally, you just graduate and you get there. Nobody knows it was fake. So
no, you can't just graduate. You can't just graduate. You call graduate as if there is a time limit for success. As if there is a time, as also time, go to school, get a good job, as if the good job is easy to get a good job, then your life is, you are into your dream. But at the end of the day, you see that dream is still far. So it will now dawn on you after you finish that, okay, it's like there is a process to this. And that's why there is no manual for success. I used to tell people, people may tell you that this is how it works. Well, no problem. Let me just live my own life and see how to go about it. There are some people when they finish law school, I remember, as they are finishing, they have a full chamber for them, built by their parents for them. Do I have that opportunity? I don't have it. So if I want to live in that life, that shows that is either I join a group or just do some things to just want to live like that. So I need to just know my boundary and walk my way, walk my success little by little and get my achievement. So the achievement you get, in a good way or with good plan, that is the achievement that sustains and that succeed, the real success. But this fake, a time is going to come. It's just a matter of time. Everything will be open. Let me give you an example. Was it yesterday that VDM was released? Yeah, it did before yesterday. And he said something in the car with my brother and Deji. He said,
Deji, you're that close. Okay, just
and he said, these people now, how will you arrest me? I want to sue me. I just want to paraphrase it, not the way he said it directly. Someone who doesn't have money, you are arresting someone for money laundering. Someone who doesn't have money. Even the charity I'm doing, I had to borrow money to do charity. You understand? He said he had to borrow money. Now, many people are seeing him, and this guy, maybe his own intention is that, okay, this is what I want to do. God help me, or whoever that is helping. Now, maybe after spending his own money, we saw people came out for him during the time he was raising that funds. Yeah. People came out for him, and probably he had to also borrow money, and I'm sure he's getting money from his social media handles too. Probably, maybe when those money comes, that's when he settles the people. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just thinking, when he made mention of that statement, I was like, can you see now? You just look at this guy, you don't know what he's doing behind, borrowing money. In fact, he said this in the car. He told AG, he said, You will still borrow me $3,000, so let me use that one to start. He said it in the video. You can watch the video. Maybe that's how he's been living. That is his own style.
Is that fake life?
Well, I can't really say. It depends now on how he defines his own stuff. He doesn't need to come out and say, this is how I'm funding my stuff.
I think
it's not anybody's business.
I think one of the main dangers from what my sister has spoken about is fake life could lead you into debt, because you live above your means and you don't have the means of acquiring the things that you need.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from debt, do you think there's any other major danger?
Oh, there's another very huge danger. Moral decadence.
Wow.
Everything will collapse around a fake society. Everything. So you have, so when we're growing up, you would find, no matter whose home you went into, you knew that you would not be rude to the parents.
Yeah.
You knew that you would not steal from that house, because if they catch you, they will beat you from there till you go back home. Then your parents will continue where your friend's mother stopped. You know? If no matter how you drink, you will not come and drink and be drunk in front of your father. You see all of these things. Look at the homes now. Just look at how they are. Because firstly, there was something he was saying about, a timeline for success. There's some successes that will not materialize in your lifetime, right? There's the way that there's old money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Old money comes from generations of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody who doesn't come from old money, if you fake it that you're from old money, you will borrow till you die. Because you have to do all of these things to do all of these things. Yeah. Now, when you are doing all of these things, is why you would find that somebody has no problem at all, right? To go to an Arab country, right? And have an Arab man shite in her mouth for dollars. And then they would come back here and buy a G-Wagon and spray money in the club.
You don't know the source.
Do you understand? These are the problems that come with faking a lifestyle. Ideally, there's a group of people who can afford that lifestyle that you admire. They can afford it 100% and totally.
Yeah, without being demonized.
Yes. You, on the other hand, cannot afford it. But you have something that nobody can take from you.
Yes.
Your authenticity. If you trade with your authenticity, you would enter every single door in the world.
Oh, that's wonderful. Meanwhile, Mr. John, now this is going to be a way we're trying to see how we can round this off.
Yeah.
What is the role of media in people getting into fake life? Do you think Hollywood, Nollywood, do you think they play a major role in people getting into this whole dynamic?
Sadly, yes. The media naturally is hinged on three pillars: inform, entertain, and educate. Sadly, in the last 2-3 decades, the emphasis has been more on the entertainment part than the educational part, and the quest to entertain has made it possible for the media to consistently put up a lifestyle of glitz and glam. So you have a generation of people who all they see is glitz and glam, and so that is all they aspire for. I remember watching a video where a mother was talking to the son and said, look, there are only 3 ways you can be rich in life. It's either you were born rich, born into wealth, or you steal, or you work 3 times, if not 4 times harder than everybody else to get it. Sadly, the narrative of the media is that, you can actually, even if you're not born rich, you can become rich if you're smart enough. And that is left hanging. Nobody asks any question. So it's now left for you to use your imagination to determine what that, smart enough means. And so for some, yes, like she had rightly mentioned, you tell yourself you want the baby girl lifestyle, and you groom yourself into it and begin to aim for the high how do you call them, high
In-
dollar men.
In fact, to even support that, a musician released, I think, his first album. I don't want to mention his name, and he titled it "Get Rich or Die Trying."
Yeah.
You could have just said his name.
Get rich or die trying.
50.
Exactly. Yeah.
50 came up with it. Get rich or die trying.
Yeah.
And you know, there's another problem with, you know.
In fact,
how
someone even sang a song. He said, "If I don't make money, waiting I gain."
Exactly.
See, these lines
Yeah.
can really. That's why you see. Yeah, just yesterday, some guys, just two guys, they were about. In fact, they've arrested them. I just walked to the whole thing. You know, they were on the bike. One of them was waiting for the bike, while the other one, I think, he went to drop something at home. So the other guy was just yesterday. So I just walked into them. So I had to meet with the NSCDC officers that I felt it was an harassment. So I can't say that and just leave it. So I was like, why are you harassing them? This guy's on the bike. Why are you holding him by the waist and not by the trousers and all that? They now said, who are you? Why will I challenge them? I'm a Nigerian. You cannot be doing this to these people. So I now brought out my ID card and showed. Say, okay, barrister, come, let's talk. What happened to them? He said, these boys are Yahoo boys. Yahoo boys? Okay. How did you know that these guys are Yahoo boys? You have to explain to me. And they said, these boys, they know us. This and that. So the other one was now coming. Now said, hey, be coming. The boy was like, and I left, no policeman or no NSCDC officer, and they've held his friend. So the guy came. So when he came, the other officer now recognized, they now greeted, they say, he's our boy, we know him, he's our customer. These are boys of 16, 15.
Yeah.
That is our customer, that barrister, don't worry. We'll settle this thing. I really don't know what to do, because he said we are customers and they recognize themselves immediately. The boys recognize them, and I was like, are you sure you guys are into this? He said, I should not worry that I should go. I said, well, no, that's how I left. You see, some of these things, these lines, let me give you an example. There was an opera when Obi Kubana celebrated his 50th birthday, and monies were flying everywhere and all that. And some people were saying, this how to make money. But they've forgotten how this guy, how he told his story, how he suffered before he could get to that level. And this guy is an entertainer. So I can say all those things he's doing is just probably for his business. But someone who is a novice, who doesn't know anything, all these young ones, they just, this guy is making money.
Well.
And I think what really brought out that guy was during the burial of his mom. Most people
Yeah.
don't know him until the burial of his mom. But they don't know what this guy had passed through before he could get to that level. But when you see young people, they just want to live that life. In fact, even iPhone now, it's like they now have fake now. I don't know what they call it, you know.
Fake iPhone.
I think that's what it's called now. I don't know. They said there is another type they do now that looks like, I don't know, it has a name, you know. So that shows that the whole world has recognized it. That, okay, fake life exists. Let's also give to those.
People by 2012 can upgrade to 20.
And upgrade. It's still fake life.
Well, you know,
even though it may be dangerous to them.
What I want to do right now is this. People are watching this at home. People are learning from this. People now get to understand that the fake life could be traumatic at the end of the day. Because I've learned along the line that one of the greatest punishment of deception is secrecy. You have to keep it to yourself that you are not what you project yourself to be.
And you have to remember what you have said you are.
Yes. Like, for what will you say? You know, I can't advise everybody. But what do you think can be done at the level of the society that could help people reduce their quest or urge to be
Okay,
living?
so I don't think I even want to talk to the whole of society right now. I want to talk to people creating content for television, for radio, for whatever, the media that people are consuming, especially visual media. Please stop lying.
No shit.
You understand? Stop lying.
Shit.
And I don't mean like in a general sense, like don't create your fiction and stuff. Do. By all means do. But there's the thing that happens on television, a lot of omission. You would find a scene, a person is in a restaurant, they never actually pay for the food.
Exactly.
You see them eating
Eat
the
it.
food, you see them ordering the food, you see them leaving. They never pay for it. They never pay for a bus ride. Maybe in some movies where they're trying to be extra realistic. But even then, they never pay for anything. Then you'd find now coming home now to Nigerian movies. These movies they make nowadays, the reality of real life and the reality of those things is too far now. So they tell you somebody is a bank teller. You see the house he's living in.
The car.
What do you mean that this person is a bank teller is driving 20 something range? Where I get time from?
So that means media really has
a
strong impact.
Mr. John, so this goes to you.
Oh yeah, it is.
That's your department.
It is.
You guys have to work on what you are producing and what you are selling. Barrister, I'm going to round up with you right now. What take do you have for people at home? What do you think can be done to help us change the narration to people about this fake life and its evils or something?
There is no substitute for hard work. No substitute. And this decadence starts from the home.
Exactly.
Because if you train your child well, you put that value. There is value system. Since I was young, and then I became someone who should start living alone, traveling without the guidance of my parents. They are not scared. They say, "You see, fellas, leave him anywhere you can go. We are okay." What could have given them that confidence that this guy will not misbehave? Yeah. You understand? So I think that value, we are losing family values. We've traded it for this Oyibo lifestyle.
Materialism. Yeah.
You understand? We're discussing the other time, and I said, not all rights is right. So we cannot be bringing what we don't understand, what is not peculiar to us, and want to, bring it into our system and want it to rule us and guide us. We will malfunction. So malfunctioning is what we are facing right now. We are malfunctioning because the way we have been made, the way we have been created, the way things are, even the government we are practicing, are we not malfunctioning? The system of government we are practicing is malfunctioning.
It's not us.
Fake government.
I won't use that word. I won't use that word because if we say we are pricing democracy, is this our democracy? Federalism, true federalism, it becomes a problem. We don't have it, and we say we keep doing pashi to our constitution.
This is done in 30 seconds. One word for viewers.
Be yourself. Stay real.
Straight up.
Stay real.
Your new self.
Be yourself.
Self.
Look, I am a proponent of self-discovery. The idea behind self-discovery is that you continually are in the state of becoming. Okay. But most importantly is that you know who you are.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And I need your comments on this. I need your likes on this. I tell you your contribution really makes so much meaning to us because other people are really also going to learn from you. Fake life could be very difficult. I will be coming back on this channel to still discuss more of this on other social vices that happens in our society. My name is Wale Jason, and I'm the host for you on Black or White.